Dinosaur Man.
Hello and welcome to the Dinosaur Man podcast. I'm Andy Hughes. I'm here with Alex Hudson.
Simply having a wonderful Podmas time.
Wow.
Do you want me to sing it?
No.
Snow is podding.
Oh, okay, here he goes.
All upon us.
There we go.
Podmas playing.
Yep.
Podding pod. Pod the season.
Yep.
Pod love and pod understanding.
Oh, you didn't mess that one up.
Download iTunes, everyone. Ba-dam-ba. Snow is falling, all upon us, children podding fun.
Yep.
I mean, 'tis the season for podding. I've already done it.
Yeah.
Podding under podding. Pod my Podmas.
Pod your Podmas.
Pod it. I demand you to pod my Podmas.
Well, guys.
Here's my Podmas, now pod it.
We've got the Podmas pudding.
He's podding my Podmas.
The roasted pods are in the oven.
Yeah, we got mince pods. We got Yule pods.
Your Tide Pod.
Yep. We got egg pod. We got Christmas pod meat. Podkey.
We got a Christmas feast going on, guys.
Poddle spouts. No, I said spouts instead of sprouts.
It's December.
Wait, no, there's more.
I know there isn't.
Podbury sauce.
You've looked so happy to be saying that.
Yorkshire pudding is with Christmas dinner, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
We have Yorkshire puddings with every dinner.
Yes, you do actually. Every evening, you get out a Yorkshire pudding just for yourself. And you say, as is tradition.
When we lived at home.
Season's greetings, my boy.
When I lived at home, we used to have a roast dinner twice a week.
Yes.
And we'd always have Yorkshire puddings because my sister didn't eat much of the roast dinner. She didn't eat the veg or anything.
Okay.
But she did eat Yorkshire pudding. So to make sure that she ate something, instead of having everyone has one Yorkshire pudding on the side of the plate, there was 12 Yorkshire puddings.
Yeah. And that's because she was okay with Yorkshire puddings. Did you try and smuggle vegetables into the Yorkshire puddings?
Tried it, didn't work.
Seal them up and be like, oh, it's a Yorkshire surprise. And then she bit into it and she went, what the fuck is this?
Just threw hot gravy.
The surprise is, I hate you.
Yeah.
The surprise is, my family lied to me.
So there's only certain things that you'd actually eat. But yeah.
So what's your Podmas plans this year then?
What, as in food wise?
Yeah.
Oh, we
because you're the one who's doing the shopping and the cooking, I presume.
I think I don't know if I told this story on the podcast. I've definitely spoke to you about this. But 2 years ago, I introduced parsnips to my family, and it's been a great experience for me.
So, did they not like parsnips?
No one's ever had parsnips in my house before.
We've talked about this on the podcast before. I'm 100% sure of it.
The first time I ever had parsnips was about 4 years ago. It was the first time I ever had a parsnip in my life.
Former host of the podcast, Mark.
Yeah, he got
introduced
parsnips.
You to parsnips.
And I was like, I don't know what they are. And he's like,
wrong colour carrots.
And I ate it and I was like, this is amazing. Why have I never eaten this before? Since then, I've been on the parsnip. I only tried sweet potatoes 6 years ago.
And the thing is, we watch. Okay, so a little look into our lives. We watch a lot of Ready Steady Cook.
Yeah.
And we often mock them for being at the start of the sweet potato revolution.
Yeah.
Whenever someone brings a sweet potato in their bag. But what I've learned is
I genuinely went through that period.
Those people who've brought those sweet potatoes predate you having sweet potatoes by probably 10 years.
My family just never had them. The same as what else? Here's a weird one. I think about... So I'm basically dating this by when I kind of started living with Mark.
Okay.
And I think I had a red onion for the first time about 8 years ago.
There are some insane revelations coming out on Christmas Eve here. I know it's not Christmas Eve when we're releasing this, but, it's Christmas Eve when we're recording it. We're forward in time. Biden, not elected, by the way, guys.
I only ever had pancetta while living with you.
This is insane.
Well, I think so. I might have had it before, but that's the only time I can actually, realistically say definitely.
And you did say wrong bacon.
Pork belly.
Only
ever since living with you.
Okay.
I don't think I had that before.
Bread.
Yeah, of course we had bread. You had to have something to
of
the
course
gravy
you did,
up.
because You obviously knew that woman who only ate crisp sandwiches or whatever.
Cheese sandwiches.
Cheese sandwiches. Insanity.
But yeah, so yeah,
that's Christmas Day plans.
My Christmas dinner is basic. It's basic, but yeah, because they introduced them to parsnips 2 years ago.
So had they never had parsnips either?
Well, they must. For some reason, they never ate them. My dad seems to think they're horrible, but I don't think he's ever tasted one.
So he'll cook them for you, but he won't eat them.
So 2 years ago, I said, "Oh, can we get some parsnips as well?"
This brand new vegetable parsnips that I've just been hearing about.
Well, I said, I really like them, and my brother's wife was like, "Oh yeah, I like parsnips." So my dad was like, "Okay, I'll get them." So that's 2 years ago. So last year, he did the Christmas shop, and he looks at me, and he kind of looked at me with a smile and went, "Guess what I've got? I've got you some parsnips." So like, that's my new Christmas present.
All right, I'm calling bullshit on this story because I've seen your dad smile once. And that was when he was reminiscing about a cruise. Okay, well, as you can tell from the very relaxed festive atmosphere, it is a festive episode yet again, and from the title as well. That's usually a giveaway. The title will, I don't know, will be something Christmassy.
We'll call it Christmas on the Pod.
So after the rip-roaring success of our franchise killer, Qu'est-ce que c'est, episode that we did at Halloween time, where we watched 3 terrible installments in Halloween franchises, and Andy rated them on a scale of scariness. Well, not really scariness, more just like how insane were they. We decided that what we would do is, because obviously everyone loved that episode... Remember, this is me. I'm breaking with the usual format to do this. I don't want to do this, but then I was the one who came up with this idea.
Yep.
We're going to do it again, but both of us are rating this time, and we've watched 3 Netflix Christmas originals from this year.
Yep.
It was going to be more, and then we realised that Holiday is not just a Christmas movie.
Yeah, technically we did.
Although I would say that one of these films that we're going to discuss today also isn't a Christmas movie.
We did technically watch more because, remember, guys, we did watch Princess Switch 1 and 2.
Yeah, but we're disqualifying Princess Switch 2, which would have been eligible for this because it's a far better film than these.
That's amazing. Like, when you think back of our conversation last week...
Is it far better? I think I enjoyed it more, but that's mainly because I have the love of the characters from the first one. Tricky. It's a tricky one.
So yeah, we were going to watch Holiday, but that doesn't qualify because it's...
We think it's mostly about St. Patrick's Day. Okay, maybe not mostly about that, but certainly it's not exclusively about Christmas. But one of the films that we're going to mention today basically isn't about Christmas either. So... fucking bullshit.
But yeah, so we ended up watching 3. So we watched Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square. We watched
Operation Christmas Drop.
Yep.
And Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey.
Yes.
The biggest lie in
I'll
any
give you
title.
a clue, guys. Which one?
It's incredible that film has the umbrage. That's right, the umbrage. No, I'm taking umbrage with the fact that it has the balls to say it's Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. It should just be called Jingle Jangle, a film.
We will get there, though.
Yeah.
But guys,
that's a little teaser for later.
We're going to basically talk about these films a little bit. We're going to break them down into some categories. And by the end of this episode, we'll find out what the best Christmas offering from Netflix is this year.
Okay, so let's start with Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square. Let's just talk about it as a film. Okay. Let's do a little review of it. First of all, would you recommend?
So for those who don't know what this is...
Okay, I've got a little synopsis.
Go for it.
Okay, it's a 2020 American Christmas musical film. Directed and choreographed by Debbie Allen. Starring Dolly Parton, Christine Baranski, Jennifer Lewis, and Treat Williams.
Never forget Treat Williams.
More like Snack Williams. Great, great. Okay, so the premise of the film is... Christine Baranski plays a woman who owns a town, which is a very common thing in everything we're watching at the moment. Yeah. Schitt's Creek and this. And she's planning to sell the town, and she's got to get out of this place and escape the memories of her past. And she hands eviction notices to every resident of the town and says,
including the children,
you got to be out by the end of the year. And then she even brings that up to Christmas Eve, guys. Christmas Eve. And she's visited by an angel who wants her to change.
Yeah.
And, spoiler alert, it's Christmas Carol, so she changes. So Christine Baranski obviously plays the Scrooge adjacent role. I don't know if she is good in this, or if... I think she knows how rubbish this is.
There's one point in, I think, the second song of the film where it looks like she's trying so hard not to laugh at the fact that she's just like, okay, this is what this film is now.
Yeah. So this is based on a stage play, but not a musical, I think.
Yeah.
Because the music and the lyrics were done by Dolly Parton for the film, but Dolly Parton had no involvement in the stage play. Mm-hmm. So all of the extra bits, all of the songs have been added in, as far as I can tell.
So the first song in this film, Christmas on the Square, has been ingrained in my brain since we've watched this.
I've tried to ignore it, and I've now got Blackpink in my head instead.
It's just clawing at, like, the receptors in my brain of, like, I just keep hearing, gotta get out of here, Christmas on the Square.
Yeah, okay. I kind of wish you didn't do that, because now it is going to be in my head again.
It's like wormed in there. Like, none of the other songs really kind of stuck. Although the second song is probably the best song of the entire thing, because it's got some funk to it.
Not the second song.
Is it not the second?
No, because if you remember, the second song is the song about not having a baby.
Yes.
So, okay, well, if we're going to be truthful, the first one is main title, which plays over the painted credits. Then it's Christmas is / Christmas on the Square / Gotta Get Out / Maybe Just Maybe / So Sorry. That's the name of the song. And then it's You, which obviously is the song about...
One and a baby.
Yes. And then Queen of Mean by Jennifer Lewis, which is spectacular.
It's like Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, it's like... So you know the bit in Blues Brothers where Aretha Franklin does Think?
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, what a stellar talent she is. I thought Jennifer Lewis came out of this with her head held high, because she is the bright spark in this. Well, one of the two bright sparks, the other one is the postman.
The great thing guys, about this entire film is, if you want to know what is going on in everybody's lives, watch the main medley number at the beginning, because it is just exposition, the song.
Yeah.
Like, people are singing, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's Christmas, and then like, oh, I've forgotten this, and I want to get out of this town, and suddenly it's like, oh, we want a baby, and you can't have a baby, so we're going to keep trying to have this baby. It's like, why are you singing about this?
Yeah. It's like, it's got a lot of songs in it.
Yeah.
Are any of them good?
Christmas on the Square.
Christmas on the Square, I will probably give you as good-ish.
It's like crack.
And I think Queen of Mean.
Yeah.
Everything else, poor.
What about Treat Williams' song about memories?
Keeper of Memories by Treat Williams.
Yeah. It's a proper country song, I feel, that one.
Is it?
It reminds me of... So, I said this to you...
Like, very gentle country.
Yeah, when we were kids, like, my mum and dad loved Dolly Parton. Like, they've listened.
I think they're about to love her even more if they watch this.
And I told them to. No, I told my mum to watch this because I think she'll really like it.
Yeah.
But I've listened to a lot of Dolly Parton songs, and that song sounded like a song that Dolly Parton would write. So it kind of it had this almost like familiar aspect to it for me of being like, okay, I've never heard this song, but I feel like I have. Yeah.
Would you say that any of the other songs really stuck with you?
No.
No. So, bear in mind, Keeper of Memories is the 5th song out of 25.
What about the one of... that's like Dolly Parton singing to the...
Angels Can Fly Because They Take Themselves Lightly?
No, she sings it with the... helper of Christine Baranski.
I thought that was that one. Or An Angel's Prayer.
Maybe, I don't know.
No.
They're Dancing Around the Kitchen.
Oh, that'll be Light Your Lamp?
No.
No?
Guys, this is now descended into us just...
Everybody Needs an Angel.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Don't ask me how it goes, because I cannot remember.
The one where she gets trapped in a bottle and stuff. No, I didn't remember that song, basically.
This film has, like... one of the best third act twists you would ever imagine.
Which one's the third act twist? Just tell them. It doesn't matter.
When you find out that the helper is an angel as well.
Oh, but that's not a third act twist.
The second act twist, then.
I think that's still first act.
Basically,
technically.
it made you go, what? Is that what they're going with?
Well, no, I said you're right because you'd guessed it.
I've got a note here, right?
But it also explains why she can talk to...
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, no one else can.
Yeah.
I've got some notes here, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, all the extras in this film are incredible.
Yes, and... okay, so I think this is my big issue with the film, is that it stems from the fact that it is a musical, and it's a stage play at that. So the problem is, all of the acting is very stagey.
It's very big because it has to be
Yes.
seen.
But also, it doesn't need to be that big.
But it's amazing. I've put, there are tap dancers in the bank. This town would be the worst place to live in. Mm-hmm. Like, everywhere they go, there are just people dancing.
Yeah.
And, like, so Christine Baranski walks into the bank at one point, and there's people just tap dancing. And I'm like, imagine being in the queue at the bank, and next to you are just, like, 3 people tap dancing incessantly.
But it's that thing of...
I understand why she wants to sell this town.
It's that thing of you have to... When you're watching a musical, you have to make exceptions for the fact that this is just the world you're supposed to embrace, I suppose.
I've got one note here
Yes.
that I don't understand, but I wrote it. It just says "holiday baby heist?" ?
Yeah, I think you hypothesized that the couple who are having trouble conceiving might try and steal a baby.
I put no information around it.
I have a feeling that might have been it, is that when they're operating because they operate a baby store.
Yeah.
But they can't have a baby. They've been trying, and they can't. But then, spoiler alert, by the end, magic happens, and there's a magic baby.
Magic puts a baby in her.
And it kind of...
Everyone knows. Like, she
Yeah.
doesn't even know because she's not done a pregnancy test or anything. Mm-hmm. But everybody knows because they
she's
think,
gonna be
I'm going to be
pregnant.
your grandpa.
Yeah.
To this woman who doesn't even know she's pregnant yet. And if
Yeah.
anything, the whole town knows isn't pregnant because, you know, her and her husband keep singing about the fact that they can't get pregnant.
Yeah. I don't know. But who can hear them singing that?
Everyone.
Do you think so?
They sang it in the street.
Yeah, but do you think anyone else can actually hear
Remember,
it? Or
he
is
says
it,
he's going to play her like a guitar.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't
That
it?
was one of the lines.
Yeah, I'm going to strum you like a guitar.
Also, Treat Williams runs a $1 sweet shop. That's how he
Ah,
makes his
yes.
money.
Okay, this is something we do need to talk about, is that Treat Williams runs a sort of, I don't know, an antique shop.
Yeah, a knick-knack
For the
store.
most part. Just a general junk store. And then he's got like 8 jars of sweets on the table, and there's a sign that says candy $1 each. So it's either $1 per jar, which is insane in terms of business, or it's $1 per individual sweet from those jars.
One of the jars looks like it's full of like M&Ms.
In which case, it's equally insane business, but he's a genius.
And that's how he manages
It's
to
the only
survive.
reason he's still in business, because he's not making any money from people buying lanterns
But he
from
gives
him.
them away.
Yeah, he gives away all of his stock. So that's nonsense.
Basically, the film it's one of those, right? If I was to sum it up, I think it's a Hallmark-style film.
Yeah.
Like, Hallmark-style Christmas film where it's kind of like, it's just a bunch of kind of niceness, and it's all a bit too twee.
You know
it's all a bit
exactly
too
how
sweet.
every single character's story is going to end.
Yeah. There was one bit that, like, I was like, this came out of nowhere. So at one point, Christine Baranski speaks to this child who is running a bar, and
Because her dad's at the church, not because that's her job.
and they kind of connect, and Christine Baranski realizes that the actions of her past maybe caused her mother to die, right? Later on, Christine Baranski...
I'm sorry,
goes-
do you just remember the reaction to it where she went, no, no? Where the kid tries to blame herself for the death of her mother. And Christine Baranski just gets furious with this child and goes, no. Doesn't say anything else, just says, no,
And then she
no,
walks out the room and then walks back in and goes,
no. It's really funny.
But later on,
Yes.
as if to show that she's changed her ways, this child is hit by a car, right?
Yeah.
And goes to hospital. And Christine Baranski's like, flying this surgeon, like, from this place, like, the best surgeon you can get, flying in. And everyone's like, yeah. And then Dolly Parton's like, it looks like a bit of Christmas magic has happened. And the film implies that Dolly Parton ran down this child to change the ways of this woman.
Yeah, because it's like, this thing has to happen in order for her to feel an attachment has been damaged. Yeah. So it has to be that this kid gets injured in this car crash. So we presume that Dolly Parton was operating the other vehicle.
Dolly Parton just kind of slides
or at
in.
least distracted the driver of the other vehicle.
She drifts into the hospital car park just like, my work here is done.
But then it's also implied that the neuroscientist, the neurosurgeon who they bring in, doesn't actually do anything because the kid is healed by Christmas angel magic.
Yeah.
And also, potentially, the surgeon hasn't even arrived yet because we know he's 100 miles away.
Yeah.
And yet, the kid is fine. And also, what I really like is that Jennifer Lewis knows that the kid is fine, even though she's not been with the kid at all. Because in church, she goes, "That's right, she is."
But yeah, basically, I think it's quite a twee film. It's very much like, you know everything that's going to happen.
But with added music.
And there were moments that made me laugh a lot. Mm-hmm. But I think that's because I was watching it with you and we were like...
Yeah, I think if I watched this on my own, I would have hated it more.
You know...
What's weird is, this is the most enjoyable film we watched.
Yeah.
And I don't think I enjoyed it.
What I think I'm getting at is, it's one of those films that I wouldn't recommend to most people, but there are certain people this is really going to hit for.
And you'll know, if you watch the trailer, you'll know if this film is for you.
I said to my mum, I think she'll like it.
Yeah.
And there's a chance she might watch it and then give us like a little review if she does.
Exciting.
I asked her for it, so we'll see. But yeah, it's one of those for me. Like, it's like, I know this isn't for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would not recommend. But
I think there are definitely some people that will really like this.
Yeah, if you, as soon as the 1st of November hits, you switch on the Christmas Hallmark channel, then yeah, this is for you. Absolutely.
Shall we go through some categories?
Well, I think what we should do is summarise each of the films first. Do you want to do the categories instead?
Should we do the categories for each one?
Okay, fine. So let's do categories then.
'Cause then it's all in order.
Okay, so, and again, we've got to get a calculation going here as well. So I've got a calculator up just to help. So our categories are as follows. So the first category, Christmas music. Does it have it? Yeah.
It's got Christmas music coming out the wazoo.
Yeah. And a lot of the songs reference Christmas, and a lot of the songs are purely about Christmas, and it is called Christmas on the Square.
Yeah.
So I will give it, yes, it does. I think we should give it 5 candy canes of Christmas music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's got a lot of songs in there. A lot of them are Christmas related.
Okay, so 5 plus 5, because you also rating it, so that's 10.
Yeah. Or we can just agree on a joint score.
Oh, okay, let's agree on a joint score. That's better, yeah. So, because otherwise it's going to end up with too high of a score. So 5 candy canes out of 5. Yes, I agree. Second one is Christmas morals. Does it have Christmas morals?
It's basically...
It is Christmas Carol. There is no getting around it. This is just Christmas Carol.
It starts as a Christmas Carol, and it ends like a Christmas Carol. But it misses, like, the whole middle chunk of Christmas Carol, because she just changes her mind immediately. She's like, oh, I'm this bitter woman, and all of a sudden she's just like, oh no, I'm now great.
Yeah, and instead of being visited by 3 ghosts, she's visited by 1 angel. So I'd say it gives... I think it's got 3 out of 5 for Christmas morals.
Yeah, it's got the morals, but it's not Christmas Carol.
It doesn't fully commit to being Christmas Carol, which is probably a good thing, but also at the same time, I respect it less. If you're going to steal, just steal everything. So we're going to go with 3 candy canes out of 5 for Christmas morals. Okay, what's our next category?
Did it get you in the mood for Christmas?
I've put here, does it make you feel Christmas?
Yeah.
And I said, no, not one single bit during it because I wanted to kill myself. But I think that's too harsh, having watched the other films. So
does it get me in the mood for Christmas?
I think it makes me feel more Christmassy, but it's a type of Christmas that I don't like feeling, which is bad Christmas. Bad Santa. Yeah. I think it's that Hallmark Christmas, and I don't want that kind of Christmas feeling, but it's slightly comforting in a very unsettling way. So I'm going to say it makes me feel 2 out of 5 Christmas.
Yeah, I suppose it makes me realise Christmas is coming, the foreboding nature.
It makes you realise everything about Christmas that you don't like, I think.
Yes. Yeah, probably.
But also,
it makes
to
me,
the audience who want to see this,
it makes me
that's
realise...
going to be 5 candy canes.
It makes me realise Christmas, right?
Yes.
But it's also not my Christmas.
Okay.
That's not the Christmas that I have.
Hashtag not my Christmas.
Exactly. So you think probably 2 is probably fair, because it's...
We can elevate it to a 2.5 if you wish.
No, keep it at a 2.
Okay, round numbers only. So, we're up to 10 candy canes total out of a potential 15. So this is doing pretty well. What's our next category?
Is there eggnog?
Eggnog, yes, 6 minutes in.
So,
It's featured in the baby store. So, it is drunk. It's seen on screen. So, I'm going to give this a full 5 out of 5.
That's a full 5. It gets the eggnog treatment.
Yep, okay. Next category.
Final category is... Would it be improved by a Krampus?
Yes.
Now, do you want to explain what a Krampus is for those who don't know?
A Krampus is a character of, I think, Germanic folklore mainly, maybe Scandinavian as well, that is basically the anti-Santa who punishes children who've been naughty by eating them.
Big hulking creature.
Yeah, he's like a horned devil type creature who comes around at Christmas. So I'm going to say...
So the point of this question is to go, would this film be better if we replaced any character that we choose with a Krampus?
And yes, I think it would, and I'm just trying to see who I would replace with the Krampus.
I put the vicar's wife.
I put the vicar.
I thought it might be nice that
because
the vicar and the Krampus are trying for a baby.
Yes. Okay, because we didn't mention the fact that the preacher man is very sort of sinister.
He's very sinister.
Which is why I think replacing him with a Krampus would be a like-for-like replacement.
He seems very kind of like small-town vicar, manipulating the people kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I feel that's why he found a kindred spirit in Krampus.
Sure. Okay, so you think he'd love Krampus?
Also, Dolly Parton gets to impregnate a Krampus at the end of the film.
Okay. There's not really a point score that we can give it for Krampus. That's just a case of yes or no.
Yeah.
But also, the one category that we haven't done for this one is it Star Wars? And I think this one is technically Star Wars because there is talk of a rebellion, a resistance against Christine Baranski. They erect a sign on a church, and there is a man who does a funny move on the ladder.
You very early on in this film said this film is Star Wars.
Yeah, and then what I would also say is, after that point, it basically isn't Star Wars. So we have a total of 15 from the 4 categories. So this is, from the 4 points-based categories. Yeah. So that's 15 out of 20. So we have to times that by the most festive number, which of course is 25 for the 25... days of Christmas.
12.
Oh yeah, but I suppose that makes more sense than just the 25th of December. Okay, so times by 12, so that gives us a total of 180. 180.
I'll add that to the bottom of this.
Yeah, you do that because I'm not going to. Okay, that's a strong score, I think.
Okay.
I think we've got our winner already, by the way. We maybe don't need to do the rest of this episode.
But let's talk about Operation Christmas Drop.
Just 1 second, sorry, I'm just going to...
What is?
Well, my laptop is currently black screen, and it just made a noise in my headphones that I didn't like. Your battery is running low. Oh no! Hang on, I plugged it in. Oh, I didn't plug it in.
Oh
you
no!
Fool,
Hudson! Dingus. A Christmas idiot.
Because I just checked. It's so weird because it didn't make the noise until after I checked it. But I thought, I should just check to see where we are in the timing of the episode. So, and I managed to catch it before it died, so this is good.
Recorded. So it's a nice little treat for you there, guys, of
the terror in my voice. Okay, right, let's get this back up.
So, film 2 is...
I'm not even going to edit that bit out.
Film 2.
In case people thought I would. Film 2.
Operation Christmas Drop.
Ooh. Okay. So, let me bring up the summary of Operation Christmas Drop.
So, like we said, these are all Netflix films.
Okay. So, Operation Christmas Drop. Erica, is a congressional assistant in Washington, D.C., and she's tasked with investigating a U.S. Air Force base in Guam with the intention of finding a reason to recommend its closure. Andrew is a handsome Air Force captain.
Thank you.
And he's chosen to show her around the US Air Force base and convince her that it should remain open. And the base has a yearly tradition of airlifting goods to the citizens of Guam for Christmas. Andrew shows Erica around the base and various islands and demonstrates that the tradition is worthwhile to her and tries to convince her that they shouldn't close down this Air Force base. Mm-hmm. Now, this is based on a real-life operation that is performed by this base, but also the Australian and Japanese bases in the area as well, and has been going for 70 years.
Quite some time.
So it's based on a real life Santa.
Yeah.
And the real life Santa is the Air Force, who have never done anything bad in their lives and never been responsible for any deaths that should not have happened.
They put little beards on the front of the planes.
Mm-hmm. And they paint little reindeers on the side of them.
And then they throw stuff at the back of it at these small island nations.
Yeah. And lumps of coal for any of the children who've done bad things. So it's kind of a fairly standard setup of a rule-abiding administrative assistant.
Oh, the chalk and cheese.
Oh, yeah. You can tell that when she arrives there and she gets a lift from Andrew in his personal Jeep, that...
Or
these two aren't going to get along.
She's got a buttoned-up shirt, and he wasn't even wearing a shirt when they met.
And then by the end of the film, it's the other way round. She got no shirt on. He's in full tuxedo. Christmas tux.
This film wins the award for worst CGI lizard.
Yeah, there's a gecko in this film. By the way, I'm just going to tell you now, I'm replacing the gecko with Krampus. Yeah, the gecko that is featured... So, you see it on the wall as they enter her accommodation for the first time, and you're kind of like, okay, weird that there's a gecko on the wall, but whatever. But then they keep going back to that same well and getting close-ups of this bad CGI gecko. And you're kind of like, I don't even know why you thought it was necessary to go back to that.
It's almost like if somebody had come to me, I was making this film and they went, oh yeah, I've made that gecko for you. And they showed me, I'd go, actually, we don't need the gecko.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go ask you to make it again. I'm just going to say we just don't need the gecko.
So yeah, it's your classic chalk and cheese.
Yeah. So Kat Graham is trying her hardest in this as Erica.
Yeah, and I think, she's given very basic material to work with.
Yeah.
And I think Alexander Ludwig, who plays Captain Andrew Jantz / Clovis Jantz...
I think he's a charisma vacuum. Anybody who meets that guy goes, oh yeah, this guy is cool. He's the guy who A is our Santa Claus, but also B is this handsome hunk.
So this is damning for the TV series Vikings, which he is a lead character in. I believe
he could be, maybe his character's supposed to be a charisma vacuum. Here, he's supposed to at least have some kind of personality.
He was in Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah, and guess what his character was in that?
Charisma vacuum.
Giant hulking guy who doesn't have a personality. That was genuinely his character.
Did you see the film Lone Survivor?
No, but...
He was in Race to Witch Mountain. The remake. Look, okay, so...
He basically constantly looks like he smelt shit. Even when he smiles, it looks like he's smiling because he smelt shit.
And he looks like grown-up versions of every bully ever. I don't like him.
No.
And I think Kat Graham is too good for him. And I think what we seem to forget by the end of the film is that he's basically not really done anything to win her over, and yet has somehow won her over.
Because he's handsome.
Well, because he's handsome, but also because he loves the island.
And he loves
the islanders. And I think it's... Look, this is so formulaic in terms of its construction. And this is one of those films that I would never have watched had we not done this episode. But also, that goes for the other two films we're discussing today. But this is smack down the middle in terms of I know exactly. Again, it suffers from the same problem that Christmas on the Square does, except it doesn't have any songs. I know exactly how every single character's story is going to end up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only really two characters. There's kind of a third one, and then there is an antagonist, which is a typhoon.
The big bad of the film is Typhoon.
Yeah, talk about a third act twist. Like, that's a third act twist that then gets done away with 3 minutes later.
Because
there's a typhoon that is introduced as potentially stopping them from doing Operation Christmas Drop.
And because Cat
and
Graham
then
says,
within 3 minutes, because Cat Graham says we should try hard, it then becomes a tropical storm instead, and it's fine. They can take off. This film is nonsense.
So much of just being like, yeah, sure, just put something in there so there's at least a little bit of jeopardy.
But yeah, I don't know.
Just travel
None
to
of it
islands,
feels earned.
A lot of travel to islands and just see nice things.
Yeah, and what it made me think is, I wish I was in a tropical island right now.
Yeah, and I think it does this thing where I did come out of it going, oh, I'm going to actually look up Operation Christmas Drop because that seems like it's a very interesting.
And it gives you a little thing, a coda in the post-credits bit where it says, here's the history of Operation Christmas Drop.
And somebody who's
and that's kind of interesting.
been a big part of it is in this film.
Yes.
There was one point where we looked up, is this funded by the military?
Yeah.
Because we're like, it seems very much like
it
a
seems
Michael
like
Bay
this is
thing
an
of
Air
just
Force
being
advert.
Because outside of that, I have no idea who this film is for.
Yes, so that was my main takeaway, was who is this film for? Because it's not for kids.
No.
It's a little bit too raunchy for kids, if you ask me. A little bit too much steaminess going on. It's not for adults, because it is a film for idiots. Mm-hmm. And it's not for idiots either, because there's better films for idiots out there.
Because it's not entertaining enough to keep an idiot engaged.
Is it just that you play this at a recruitment day for the US Air Force?
But even then,
you might get stationed at Guam.
If you played this to me and I was joining the Air Force, I'd probably leave.
Yeah?
I'd go, no.
I don't know. Island lifestyle looks pretty cool.
Yeah, but you'd also have to meet fucking Andrew.
Yeah, but that's a small price to pay for being...
Oh, these are our captains.
At no point is any danger to any service personnel implied.
Typhoons, bro.
Yeah, apart from the typhoon that gets done away with very quickly.
I suppose it does say that the Air Force's greatest gift is to be able to wish away storms.
Yeah, if you join the Air Force, you'll be able to downgrade things to Tropical Storm instead. Yeah, I don't like this film, and I didn't really understand who it was for. And all I could focus on was the fact that this film is just not a thing. So it doesn't fall into any one category.
Out of the three of them, I think this is the film you said we could just stop watching the most. All the way through this film, you were like, we could stop watching. We don't need to watch this.
Yeah, and I did tell you that we didn't need to do this episode halfway through it.
And this film...
But because we'd already committed to watching Christmas on the Square, and by that point, half of this...
Yeah.
We figured we were halfway done, which isn't true because the third film is long.
This was a film that all the way through we were just this... And there was a point where we literally lost our minds in this. I think it's because everything we were watching was so dull, our brains had to find something hilarious.
Yeah.
And basically what we found hilarious was somebody on an IMDb bit of trivia misread something.
Yeah.
Basically, there's an IMDb bit of trivia that says the guy's name on his shirt keeps changing from Andrew to Clavis.
Yeah.
What it actually does is he's referred to as Claus because he's like Santa Claus.
But that's not the reason, remember?
No?
Oh, fuck. What's the reason for it?
Remember, I paid attention to about 60% of this film.
Can't let a woman stay... Can't
let a woman stay with me, Mom?
Okay, so he loves Christmas too much, and that's why he's single, I think. It's very... Everyone's horny on this island, by the way. It's a horny island.
But the main thing is his name isn't
Can't
Clavis.
Let a woman stay because he loves Christmas too much to slay. Ho, 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 Green Giant. Okay, that's it. It's nicknames because he's Green Giant.
But it's definitely not because his name is Clavis.
No, he's more like White
that's
Giant.
That's not a real name.
Yeah, it's not Glavis, it's not Clavis, it's not Claus, it's Andrew. Just call him Andrew.
Would not recommend this one.
No, 100% would not
anyone.
recommend this. Yeah, this film has less of an audience than Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square.
I can't think who would enjoy this.
Yeah. I would be very surprised if we found someone who did enjoy it. So, categories.
Yes.
Okay, so, first category.
Christmas music, right?
Yeah.
So
it has a lot of island Christmas music.
Okay, it's got one song which is like I saw Santa in a bikini or something, and I'm pretty sure it was written for this film. There's a couple of songs in there that are from Happiest Season, because we recognise those.
No, that was in Christmas Princess Switch.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this film's just gone down then. It has one moment where Andrew gets a ukulele and plays Jingle Bells, but with island lyrics.
Yes, that's very funny. He says, "Jingle bells, coconuts are cool, and I live on an island."
And then Cat Graham instantly has follow-up lyrics.
It's good that she's that... I think her improvisation skills are very good. Okay, sorry. This is something that will only be interesting to me and you, is that one of the songs featured in this, let me just find it again, I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day, was performed by Echo Smith of Cool Kids fame. Anyway, Carol of the Bells, performed by Neo, featuring Candice Boyd.
Yeah.
White Christmas, performed by CeeLo Green. Coconut Christmas, performed by the Lost Fingers. I'm telling you now, this film might actually beat Dolly Parton and get a 6 out of 5 for candy canes. Coconut Christmas, Christmas in the Sand, I Love You, Paloma, I Saw Three Ships, yes. The First Noel, yes. Joy to the World, yes. And I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. Echo Smith, yes. I'm giving this 6 out of 5 candy canes.
Wow.
It's more Christmassy in its music than Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square.
I will allow it just because I don't think it's going to win any of the categories. So.
We got to give it something. I'll
let you give it 6.
So 6. Okay.
Despite me thinking that a lot of the music was nonsense.
Christmas morals.
I think I had strong Christmas morals because...
Well, it's basically Christmas Carol except administration.
Well, it's kind of like...
She goes from wanting to shut this base down because it's a waste of money, Scrooge-like.
Christmas morals are... It is somebody who is a jaded character who becomes less jaded because of the advent of Christmas.
There's a subplot about a stepmother that I think is
ignored until it's mentioned at the beginning, at the end.
Oh, and also there's like a Zoom FaceTime call thing that's also at the end and the beginning.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot of Christmas things in there.
Yes.
And it is that kind of weird kind of Christmas of, what is Christmas like if you're not...
if you're in a tropical island and away from your family.
Yeah.
So I'd say 4.
The thing is, I had one of those Christmases.
Yes.
Like, where I was away... Like, I wasn't in the tropics, I was in Spain. So it wasn't like...
Oh my God, the tropics.
It wasn't too different. But, it was kind of warmer than what it'd be here. And I had that Christmas kind of when I was on my own and away from family. And it is weird.
And you sang Coconut Christmas.
And I sang Coconut Christmas. And I also met Echo Smith.
They only tour during Christmas.
So, I think, in a way, there is something I understand there, even though it's done really badly.
Okay.
I'll give it 4.
I'm saying 4, because we gave Christmas on the Square 3.
Yeah,
because it stole, but not fully. Okay, so we're going 4. Okay. Next one. Does it make you feel Christmas?
It made me never want to see another Christmas again.
Okay, it didn't make me feel Christmas either. I would say there was a lot of Christmas stuff in it.
Yeah.
Santa hats, fake snow, I think, one point. Yes, there was shaved coconut as fake snow, which I thought was fun.
Everything that Andrew got excited for made me less excited for that thing.
Okay.
So when he got excited for having little Santa hats, never want to see a Santa hat again.
Okay.
He had Christmas trees, never want to see a Christmas tree again.
Yeah. He imported Christmas trees, it was fun.
He sang Christmas songs. Christmas songs are out this year, guys. Sorry. No Christmas this year.
So, out of how many candy canes? Out of 5? 1?
Yeah.
1 candy cane. Okay. Bad. That is. Next one. Eggnog.
There is eggnog.
There is a mention of eggnog.
4 minutes 47.
I had 3 minutes in, I think, but...
I've got 4 minutes 47. Eggnog pumpkin pie is mentioned.
Yes, eggnog pumpkin pie. Important.
So it's mentioned, but not seen.
So we gave... The other one 5 out of 5 for having it.
Yes.
So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 for mentioning, but you lose 2 points for not showing us the eggnog pumpkin pie. I don't know how that works either. I don't know what that looks like. So 3 out of 5.
Somebody obviously went, oh, you use eggs to make a pie, so it must be able to use eggnog.
Okay, what else have we got?
And then finally, would it be improved by a Krampus?
Yeah, the gecko.
I think I want Krampus in the position of Andrew.
Yeah, well, that's just because he's such a charisma actor. You presume that,
So much personality.
He's going to do better. Okay, so that gives us a total. Oh, and this one isn't Star Wars.
Times by 12?
Times by 12. It gives us a total of, drumroll please, 168.
Oh, not miles away.
No.
Like, I thought it was going to be far and away from just on the square.
I'll be honest with you. Me giving it 6 out of 5
probably helps it.
The Christmas music helps. So yeah, it's not good. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. No.
Okay, moving on. Final film.
Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. So this is Veronica's Jangle, an inventor, toy maker, and owner of jangles and things, receives the final component to his latest invention that he believes will change his and his family's lives forever. However, that ingredient is stolen, and the toy is stolen as well, by the nefarious apprentice Gustafsson, who then steals all of Veronica's Jangle's plans for his future toys.
Yeah, it takes his invention book.
Takes his magical juice that makes them good, and then becomes the world's finest and richest toy maker, whilst Veronica's Jangle falls out of love with inventing and decides to run a pawn shop instead.
His wife dies.
His daughter is shunned by him, and he tells her to go and live a life away from him because she reminds him too much of the happier times. And then his granddaughter comes to visit years later, and it's her job to try and make him fall back in love with inventing, because she's also got the gift of the second sight. She can talk to the dead, and she can see inventions. So this is a strange movie.
Yeah.
Also a musical.
Yes, it is. All music done by John Legend, I believe.
Yeah. So let me just let me get the information. So score was composed by John Debney. Includes songs by John Legend and Philip Lawrence, who works alongside Bruno Mars. I
like the kind of animated storybook kind of effect. The one where, so it begins with like somebody telling the story of and narrating the story of Veronica's Jangle.
Yes.
And the way it's done, like before it kind of goes into like live action, is it's almost a bit like the Game of Thrones opening credits, where it's these kind of, do you know what I mean? Where it's kind of like things are changing and like buildings are going up from this book, and it's all kind of mechanized.
Yeah.
And I really like that effect. I thought it actually was really nice. I don't think I would have liked the entire film of it, but I was really enjoying it when it was happening.
Okay.
Probably more than I enjoyed the rest of the film. I think... So we talked about... and this kind of goes into one of the categories anyway. We talked about Christmas music in Christmas on the Square and being like, oh, there are songs in Christmas on the Square that have kind of gnawed their way into my head. I don't think I could even hazard a guess at any of the songs in this. There was one that I really liked.
Yeah, the one that the post lady
Two that I liked then, because I like that one because she's very horny.
Okay, which one was the other one?
Everyone's horny in this film, by the way, guys. Like, this is the horniest town in all of
What was the other one you liked?
The other one I liked was one where, and I like it because they used, so they did the classic thing, but it always makes me like songs in musicals, which is when they start using modern day things as percussion. And there's the guy, and he's hammering the thing. And Veronica's Jangle's all just like, I'm gonna make my toy work.
That one.
And she's like,
you like that song?
Like, I'm gonna go see.
I thought that was the worst song
like,
of them all.
I'm gonna make my toy work. And there's a guy, and he's using the steel hammer, and he's like, tsh, tsh, tsh.
Yeah, the song is called "Make It Work."
And I was there like, yeah, Veronicas, you're gonna make this work. And I'm like, that's cool. Like that one. But it is literally just because they're using kind of normal sounds as percussion, and I really like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm very easy to please.
Clearly.
But outside of that, and
I fucking knew it.
And the song,
I fucking knew her singing voice wasn't her voice, by the way.
Who's
the post lady, Miss Johnston. Fucking bullshit. Because I was watching it, I was going, that voice is not her voice. It cannot be. It's so badly dubbed over as well.
Like, her song's good.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Why won't you fuck me, Veronicus?
Yeah. It is very much, I've put myself on a plate for you, and that plate has arrived at your door, and you've shut the door in it.
I liked that one because there's a moment where she starts singing, and Veronicus is like, please get out of my shop. Like, you can just hear him mumbling underneath, like, please get out of my shop. People are looking inside, they can see you. And then all of a sudden, 3 kind of R&B singers pop up, and he's like, you've got backing dancers?
Yes, but also, I don't agree with that, because he also had backing dancers in his song when he was young man.
He's jaded
Veronicus.
now. He's old and jaded.
He knows that this is a world where musicals exist.
He stopped inventing, so nobody dances anymore.
All I'm saying is stick to your guns.
Nobody dances in the Jangle shop anymore.
Okay, so I like how. Okay, can I just say here?
Yeah.
That Edison, who is his young assistant later on, is credited as Edison, the prepubescent assistant of Veronicus. Mainly because he mentions that he hasn't reached puberty.
Yeah.
But
also, he's very handsy.
So it is a case of, it's another Scrooge tale. Well, it's a reverse Scrooge, because at the beginning he loves Christmas.
Yeah, because he loves inventing.
Well, sorry, he doesn't love Christmas. He just loves inventing.
And it's at Christmas.
And it is, but it isn't.
They say Merry Christmas.
All right, I'm gonna tell you this now. This ain't a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie if you watch it at Christmas time. You could watch this in the height of summer; it would make as much sense then. Because this is not a film that is explicitly about Christmas. Yes, there's some gifts exchange, and yes, it's set at Christmas technically, but there's basically no reference to Christmas for a lot of it.
He goes, "Hey, guy, Merry Christmas."
And
the daughter goes, "Hey, it's 4 days till Christmas," and send my granddaughter there.
Okay. So, do you want to go through scores now?
Yeah, we'll
basically, this film is stupid, and it's so long.
It is.
I did tell you it felt longer than The Irishman.
It is long. But
it's just over 2 hours.
That I could tell this was long, but it didn't feel as long as Operation Christmas Drop. Operation Christmas Drop is like a swift hour and a half, and that film felt like it was 3 hours.
I am of the exact opposite of opinion.
No, Operation Christmas Drop literally felt like we started watching that after I finished work, and I genuinely think it finished and I went to bed. Like, that's how I feel about it. And I'm like, that it did not take those 5 hours, but for some reason my night is gone and all I've done is watch Operation Christmas Drop.
Curious, because I think this felt much longer. Because there was a point where I was like, they've done everything they need to do, but I know this film cannot be over yet. Because it's still, we still have to wrap up the Keegan-Michael Key thing. Which is done so, I mean...
he's not even needed in this film.
No, but then again, neither's Hugh Bonneville. He's in it for, he's credited in the opening credits as far as I can remember. And yet, it's in it for 2 scenes.
Yeah.
For a total of maybe 2 minutes.
Needed to show that Veronicus Jangle has friends.
And the fucking kindest bank of all time, who've not taken a repayment from him for 30 years.
We've let you get by for 30 years, and if you don't show me this invention, then we're going to shut you down. And it's like, they show him this little robot thing, and he's like, forever! You will never have to pay forever. We don't even know if this robot will work.
Square root of possible, by the way, is the worst kind of thing.
What did you think to little Johnny Five robot?
I didn't like it.
Did you not?
No, because it's just WALL-E. It's WALL-E, except, it flies.
My question is...
WALL-E flies at one point, I'm pretty sure.
My thing is, when I saw him, I was like, okay, so Veronicus Jangle creates this little robot that is learning...
fed on belief.
But it is learning human behaviour, and it is able to repeat things. And he also creates the Ricky Martin bot.
Yes.
Which then has sentience, pure sentience.
Yeah.
And basically changes Keegan-Michael Key's behaviours. Right? He changes him, convinces him to do stuff. Does Veronica's Jangle cause Judgment Day?
Yeah, I think he's actually Skynet.
Like, is there a post-credits thing which just goes dun 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 dun? It's like one of the T-1000s lights up and is like, Veronica's, you finally did it. You made it work.
You made the Jangle Bot 2000. I'll be back. Oh no! Okay, so let's move on to scoring.
It ends with Jangleville or whatever it was called just being nuked.
Cobbleton. Okay, so Jingle Jangle. First of all, Christmas music.
It has music.
It has music.
But it is not Christmassy. Are any of the songs based around Christmas?
I'll give you all of the titles, okay? It's okay, because there's not that many songs in it, actually.
Yeah, like, I thought there'd be more.
This Day.
No.
Borrow Indefinitely. Miles and Miles. Not the Only One. Magic Man G. Square Root of Possible. Over and Over.
Yep.
Grandpa Meanie. Make It Work. This Day. This Day.
Make It Work, guys. It's a banger.
No, Make It Work is a pure... Okay, I'll tell you what Make It Work is. Make It Work was the song that most reminded me of Greatest Showman.
Yeah, you did say this whole film.
The first film, This Day, also made me think of it. But I think Make It Work sounds like a song that I've heard already.
So, would you prefer to watch this or Greatest Showman again?
Greatest Showman.
Yeah, because it's a great film.
It's more entertaining.
Yeah, I'd say this is... So it has songs that it has to go higher, but then the songs are not Christmassy, which knocks it lower. So I think you're probably about 3.
Okay.
Because
I was going to give it a 2.
It has music, which... And, like, there is absolute music in there. Is it Christmassy? Probably not.
Hang on. What is the category? Is it music and Christmas, or is it Christmas music?
Good Christmas music.
No, then I'm going to give it a 0. Well, it's got a 1. It's got a 1. If the 1 is the lowest,
songs in there, and there's songs about Christmas stuff.
None of the songs mention Christmas. I don't think there's any lyric in it that says Christmas.
He's got Christmas stuff in there, and they're like, "Hey."
All right, fine. We're giving it a very generous what? You said 3.
Give it a 2 then. Give it a 2. We'll meet in the middle.
Jesus Christ. Okay, next. Good Christmas morals.
Everyone's horny at Christmas.
Okay. Except that everyone is horny at Christmas and no one wants to fuck at Christmas because they're too full of turkey.
And also, you're with all your in-laws.
Okay, and he does learn a lesson.
So, hold on, what did I write here? There's a jaded character who becomes less jaded over time, but it's not because of the magic of Christmas.
Yeah, that is true. It's because of the magic of his granddaughter.
Yeah, like, it's...
And last time I checked, granddaughters aren't Christmas.
There was a snowball fight.
Yes.
Which is nice because Christmas films that have
that should come into the next category. That's not Christmas morals. That doesn't make you feel Christmas.
Yes. Okay. It's low.
I think it's a 2.
It's low, yeah.
Because it is a change of heart, but it has nothing to do with Christmas. Much like this film. This film is not a Christmas film, I'm telling you now. Okay. Does it make you feel Christmas?
Snowball fight.
Snowball fight? That is Christmas.
Magic. There's a lot of magic in Christmas films, so think about even like Miracle on Christmas. The whole idea of Santa is a magic man.
Yes.
So yeah, and the same as like the toy giver. That's a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
The problem you fall down on is the fact
none of it is related to Christmas.
Yes.
The magic is not Christmas magic. It's maths.
Right. What are the 3
The magic is maths.
Also,
by the way.
What are the 3 things I've just said there?
Snowball fight.
Yeah.
Christmas magic. Magic and toy maker.
Okay. Harry Potter has all of those elements. Magic. There's a snowball fight when Hermione throws a snowball at Draco Malfoy. Yeah. And the Weasleys are toy makers. Like, technically, by my ruling, that would make Harry Potter...
Harry Potter is as much of a Christmas film as that one Harry Potter with the snowball fight is the one that is most like Christmas. So is this what, like a 2? It doesn't make me feel like Christmas. I didn't remember it was a Christmas movie.
No, and I think if you didn't
called it early on, I called it a very steampunk Christmas, and I regretted that because actually I should have just called it a very steampunk family.
Yeah, if you hadn't told me that it's a Christmas film, and if at the beginning it didn't have them sitting by a Christmas tree, then yeah, I probably wouldn't believe this is a Christmas film. I'd think this is
like the wraparound of like she's telling these grandkids a story at Christmas time because there is a tree next to them was maybe the only reminder I felt like we got. So what we're going with 2?
Yeah, it made me more.
It's got things that should be in Christmas movies, but it doesn't really refer to Christmas. Okay, Fourth, eggnog.
No eggnog at all.
Not a mention of it. Not a drinking of it.
Does eggnog exist in this universe? Nobody knows.
Okay, let's do a substitution. Was there any Christmas food or drink?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, there was the meal that he bought to his assistant,
but
and then dropped on the floor.
It literally looked like...
that just looked like slop.
Yeah, it didn't look nice.
Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah, no one...
There's an egg.
There's an egg.
There's an egg.
There's a Christmas egg.
Christmas egg. Well, Easter, technically.
How many eggs do you eat at Christmas?
None. What? When do you have an egg at Christmas?
I have a Christmas egg.
You have a Christmas egg.
We know we've discussed this before. I have a Christmas fry-up. On Christmas Day, I always have a fry-up.
Okay, but you don't just have a Christmas egg on its own.
No, but I have...
But that implies... I think the egg is there to imply that he's given up on life. I genuinely think that's it, isn't it? Because he eats one egg a day. And yet, still is Forrest Whitaker, not like a scrawny little... no eggnog, no mention of Christmas food.
No.
Is there mince pies? No.
No. And it hasn't even got, like, Treat Williams, who's a snack in himself.
You don't think Forrest Whitaker's a snack?
Yeah.
Young Forrest Whitaker in this movie, absolute snack. He's a classic hunk. 1.
Sure, yeah.
Which is, I think, generous.
I don't even think we can give it a 1, but sure.
Well, it's going to lose to Operation Christmas Drop, I'm telling you that now. Okay, so 1 for not mentioning eggnog. Okay, and would it be improved with the addition of a Krampus?
Yes.
Yes. Who would you have as Krampus?
Veronica's Krampus.
So main character is Krampus. Who have I said? Oh, yeah. Old Journey. So the woman who is telling the story to her grandkids, replace her with an evil Krampus.
I like to imagine...
Brings a more sinister tone to the ending.
I think, watching Krampus shuffle around this shop, having lost the spirit of Christmas.
Yes.
Perfect for Krampus. And then, this woman trying to bang him.
Yeah, I think that's good. A woman horny for Krampus.
Who wouldn't be horny for Krampus?
Okay, so now we do our calculations.
Okay, where's this one?
Johnny 5 style.
I don't think this is breaking 100.
You are 100% correct. 84.
Wow, almost 100 points less.
84 candy canes.
And then Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square.
So, what have we learned today?
So,
okay, first of all, Netflix, you don't need to make that many Christmas movies in a year. Okay, Princess Switch switched again. Is it more of a Christmas movie than all 3 of these films?
Probably.
Maybe not Christmas on the Square, I think.
Maybe not. No, I think it loses on the music, maybe. But I think Christmas morals and does it get you excited for Christmas? Maybe it hits a little bit more. I don't know about Switch again. I think Princess Switch 1, yes.
Yeah, like we said last week, Princess Switch 1 is much more a Christmas movie.
Okay, here's a question.
The second one's a crime caper.
I'm going to name the categories for you.
Okay.
And I want you to answer it for a specific movie.
Okay.
Because I think there's one movie that absolutely blows all of this out of the water.
Okay.
And I think it's an obvious one because everyone will be thinking it.
Yes.
Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah, 100%.
So...
5 out of 5 for the songs.
Christmas movie. Christmas music, sorry.
Yeah, 5 out of 5.
Christmas morals.
5 out of 5.
It's a Christmas Carol.
It is a Christmas Carol.
Does it get you in the mood for Christmas?
5 out of 5.
Christmas. Is there eggnog?
Maybe
we did
not.
Replace it with food though in the last one.
Yes, and true. And there's so much Christmas
turkey.
food. Yeah.
And would it be improved with Krampus?
No.
No, but also a Krampus could fit in there because he looks like a giant Muppet anyway.
Yeah, there is the spider Muppet who is basically a terrifying thing that haunted my dreams for a while.
There's also another big Muppet, I believe, who just kind of shambles around. He's got little horns.
Yes.
He looks like a Krampus. So he's already got a Krampus.
Okay.
He already showed that he can have a Krampus.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to improve the movie because the movie is perfect.
So perfect score for Muppets Christmas Carol.
And also, is it Star Wars? No. So it knows what it is.
So more Christmas on a Square.
It is just basically this boils down to, if you want a fun family Christmas movie, watch Muppets Christmas Carol because it's so good. Don't watch any of these. The only one that I can think, because again, I think the same thing that the Operation Christmas Drop had also applies to Veronica's Jangle and Friends. in that I don't know who it's for, because I don't think it's a good enough kids' adventure film, because that part of it is 5 minutes.
Like,
it's a very mumbly film as well.
Every film is somebody's favourite film.
Apart from those last two.
Apart from Operation Christmas Drop.
I don't think Veronica's Jangle and Friends will be...
would find something in Veronicus or Jangle.
Okay.
I even lost the words.
Okay, so...
His name is Veronicus.
In summary, Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square is weirdly the best film I've watched this week. And yet at the same time is in my bottom 10 of movies I have watched this year.
Bottom 5?
No, I don't think it is. I mean, Doolittle has it out of the 5. Ooh.
I'm pretty sure it's in your bottom 5.
Well, I'd put Jingle Jangle below it.
Oh, I don't know if Jingle Jangle was in your list when I looked earlier.
No, it wasn't. I haven't added it in. So, I think Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square is... 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5th. Okay, so, yeah, so it would be... So it's in my bottom 5 films that I've watched this year, and yet is also the best film I've watched all week. Which just means that I have to watch better films going forward. I've watched a lot of films this year. This was a stupid idea for an episode. And, I mean, we can say that now because they've all listened to the episode.
Yeah.
All 3 of these I would not recommend, barring Christmas on the Square, which I think if it is exactly your type of movie and you'll know if it is from the trailer,
then it'll hit.
Then you will enjoy it.
Yeah.
But if you watch the trailer, and please watch the trailer before you actually watch the film, because if you watch the trailer and think this is not for me, you do not need to waste your time with it.
True.
And I would say you don't need to waste your time with the other two, regardless of whether you watch the trailer or not.
Maybe it's time to realise that maybe Netflix originals aren't great.
No, yeah. And I read an article about Jingle Jangle, which was basically taking some quotes from the writer and director who said, you know, I wanted to make this so that my kids would have a Christmas film with black characters as the leads and a black Christmas story. And I think that's really nice. And it's just a shame that it's not a better story. And I think for, you know, representation and everything, that is great.
Yeah.
But we got to make them good as well. We got to make them good, please. There's a better version of Jingle Jangle out there. It's called Muppets Christmas Carol. Anyway, that's it for this week, I think.
Yes. As always, you can find us on the social media.
I hope all of it recorded properly, but we'll see.
At DinosaurMan15 on Twitter and Instagram. I've not updated the Instagram for a while. That was a little flash in the pan, wasn't it? I've not updated the Twitter for a while. I'll be honest, guys. I've not touched the social media for a couple of weeks.
That's because we haven't done any news and reviews, so you feel like it's not worth telling people about.
No, more I just kind of forgot.
Okay, well, I gave you an out and you
I
didn't
decided,
take it.
You know, Christmas honesty and all that.
Oh, yes. The famous Christmas honesty.
My Christmas morals are high.
Okay, but your Christmas music is low. By Flow Rider. Was that Flow Rider?
Dinosaur Man podcast everywhere, including YouTube and Facebook.
Yes.
If you like the episode, subscribe, get a rating. Johnny Neves did the theme song.
If you didn't like the episode, you've listened to the whole thing anyway. You fools.
Johnny Neves did the theme song.
This time it had jangle bells on it.
And was percussioned by a man striking iron.
Weird that that's like a thing that you like.
I like percussion, like real life percussion. Like stomp is my dream.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you ever seen it? You'd love it.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you for hosting. You've been wonderful, and this has been the season of giving.
And in the spirit of giving, guys, until next week,
go and buy yourself Muppets Christmas Carol.
Go spend this week at Christmas. You spend so much time trying to buy presents for everyone else. This week, take £10 or the equivalent from wherever you are, and just use that £10 to buy something for yourself. Something that's purely for you, whether that's just a coffee or whether that's something like a film.
£10 on a coffee? Where am I? Bloody Starbucks?
But take £10 and invest in yourself. And we'll be back next week. Merry Christmas.
With satire like that, by the way, I could write for Spitting Image.